Right, so I've been gone for 6 or 7 months now, and you might be wondering, where's Sophie? What's she been up to? So in this video, I'm just going to give a little bit of a real and raw background as to what's been going on over the last few months and why I've decided to come back onto YouTube. Because if you've been here for a while, then I think you deserve kind of the real truth rather than a polished comeback video. So let's go ahead and dive into that. So the first thing I just want to talk briefly about is health. Anyone who's in their 50s, 60s, 70s knows that running a business in this season of our life is very different from when we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s. In my head, I'm 35, but in my body, I'm a year and a half away from 60. And that impacts things on a day-to-day basis, right? You know, this comes with unreliable sleep, having more supplements in the cupboard than you've ever seen before, having medication for things that you never even had before menopause. And sometimes you just have to take stock and go, that's okay, I am in a different season of my life. And if I'm waking up 3 times a night to go and powder my nose, then, you know, that's just the way it is, right? So some days you wake up and you're just too tired to do anything, and then you know that you just have to have an R&R day and move on because the next day is a different day, right? So I suppose it's taken me a little time to adjust and also give myself permission to know that's okay right now. Some days are going to be great days, other days are going to be average days, and other days are going to be write them off completely days. Can you relate? If you can, let me know in the comments below. So at the end of last year, I took stock of what I thought was actually achievable in my life, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to focus on. And from there, I made some really clear-cut decisions for January of this year. But most importantly, I asked myself, well, what do I want from my life now? Knowing that I'm in this different season and how that can look. You know, what do I want to achieve? How do I want to achieve it? How do I want to spend my time? What do I want to spend my time doing on a day by day, week by week basis? And I decided I wanted to go 80% my art. Now I know over the last few years I've definitely been dabbling, a bit of painting, a bit of this, a bit of the other, but it's been a really long time since I really committed to a weekly practice and actually had a very clear-cut goal and actually wanted to rebuild my art business, sort of a little bit similar to where I was before, but actually using different mechanisms, which I'll talk about on future videos. So first up, of course, that was a really scary decision because I haven't painted in a really long time. What went through my head were things like, maybe I can't paint like I used to be able to paint. What if people hate what I put out? What if I hate what I put out? What if I spend a lot of time, energy, effort, and materials and don't actually produce what I want to produce? And then, of course, even if I do produce something I want to produce, what if nobody buys? Isn't this the question that a lot of you are asking yourselves if you're near the beginning of your career? But the biggest question for me was, what did I want to paint now? So in the end, the decision came through pretty quickly and easily, actually, because I really tapped into my intuition. I looked at where my heart was in terms of my art. And although it was an easy decision, it's not an easy business for me to run. And I'll talk about more about that later. So 5 months in, I couldn't be happier, and I'm genuinely excited for what I've made. So here's what I've been making. The first thing I decided to do was create a mini collection, not something that was too large, not a collection of 20 paintings that might be a bit daunting, but I said a minimum of 8, and I'm probably going to end up with 10 actually, but I'm pretty much at the 8 at the moment. And obviously for me, where my heart is the British coastline. And if you don't know that about me, dig into my past through my website and you'll discover that I built my original business off the British coastline, and I still love it to this day. Everything about it. Cornish fishing villages, little old wooden fishing boats, wonky harbours, wonky houses. That is my thing, right? And to think otherwise is probably just a waste of my time. So having done that, dived into that, knowing that, I could readily move forward. I'll put on screen some images of this mini art collection so that you can see exactly what I've created so far. And I have so many ideas for next art as well. Unfortunately, I don't have so many in the studio right now, as I would love to actually bring them up and show them to you, but a whole load of them are being photographed and I don't actually get them back till tomorrow. So we'll maybe do some of that on another video. So next up, I wanted to create a beautiful website. And you know, if you followed me for a while, that I talk about different website platforms, and I've got another video where I talk about that, how to choose the right platform for you, which I'll link below this one. And I often talk about Squarespace as a great website to start off with if you're doing it yourself, and that Shopify is kind of the top of the top if you have a lot of products to sell, because it is at the end of the day creating a shop. And I'd hummed and hawed. I can build on Squarespace, make something fairly quick and easy, can still have a store on there, or I could go all in, learn Shopify, and build the site that I knew that I wanted in the future. So I decided to do that. And let me know in the comments if you would like videos on how to build a Shopify site, because you know, I'm still not exactly an expert, but I know how to do it. So I'm happy to dive into that if something that's of interest to a lot of you. And I'll also link the website so you can have a look. At time of shooting, there's a section of it that's still not finished, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So from there, I knew that I wanted to offer art prints, because at the end of the day, my whole model is building something that's hands off, so that I can travel, so that I can spend hours with my grandson, so that I can do more of life things than I've done previously. So for me, I knew that everything I'm doing is heading in that direction, and I wanted to find the right online partner to produce the art prints the way I wanted them. And I found a company, and I'm using Print Umo. They are not sponsoring this video, but you know what, guys, if you would like me to do that down the track, I'm happy to. And again, I'm happy to talk about setting that up on another video as well. So at time of shooting, I have 6 images and another 4, I think, coming later this week. And from there, maybe a couple more before I fly to the UK, where I'm spending 2 months. So obviously I'm not going to be able to paint. I'm not going to be able to do a lot of those things. But what I am going to be able to do is work on the bit that's not quite finished, and that is putting my artwork onto products. So I've also just recently opened an Etsy store. Haven't really done anything with it yet. And again, I talk about Etsy on this channel, and once I've got some real results to share with you, happy to talk about that as well. So I want to develop the product side of things. So again, watch this space, happy to talk about that. All right, let's move on to the next bit. What did all of this do to my coaching business? Because I've effectively spent since January pretty much painting and doing all of these things. So you might well ask, well, what's happening to the other business, Sophie? And you probably guessed it, I haven't been here, right? So I've been doing the bare minimum to kind of keep things going along, ticking along, but I've not had the time to put a huge amount of energy and effort into doing things like YouTube videos. I wanted to focus on my art and really get those kind of one-off things done. I wanted artwork done, I wanted my sales platform done, I wanted my second sales platform done, I wanted the print set up, the product set up. And now all of that's done, I can grow it from there. I can work from there, and then I can switch my focus back to this side, this particular business. And of course, without consistent marketing, this business went pretty quiet, as exactly what I would have expected, right? And realistically, I've just not had the time or the health or the energy to do all of the things. And I think that's okay too. It is about choosing where you're going to put your focus for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months of a time, right? And then you can choose differently again for the next section of your time. So what's changing on the channel? Well, not a huge amount. I'm definitely going to be talking more about my art practice, more about the day-to-day running of my business. Somebody sent me an email not too long ago, and she said, what's it really like, you know, day-to-day running your business? Could you let us know like what a week in the life of is like? So I'm happy to do things like that. Probably not going to get that done before I fly, because I'm leaving in 3 weeks time for the UK for 2 months, and there'll be different content coming there. But maybe when I get back, I can definitely do things like that. So behind the scenes of what it takes to build an art business from zero, because that's where this new version of my art business is at, right? I've got the assets, but we haven't got any income coming in yet. So let me share the ups and downs and the reality of all of that. I'm also going to be doing walking and talking. We'll talk about business while I'm walking around bits of the south coast and the east coast of the UK. So look out for those. So what am I really building towards? I really would love to just share the real journey of what it's like to build this art business from nothing. And actually, I'm going to share, if it's of interest to you, of course, how I manage the two things together. Like, how do I work that out in any 1 week? So happy to share that as well. but really it's about how I'm doing it on an ongoing basis, like mistakes and all. If you want me to share the bits that didn't work, then I'm really excited to be doing that as well, because that's one of the best ways of learning, right? Somebody else is going to make the mistake, they're going to share the mistake they've made, and you won't do it. So let me be that person for you. So lastly, why have I come back to YouTube specifically? So I really love being here, showing up and being able to inspire you, to help you grow your art business with these types of videos. And now I'd really love to ask you, what would you like me to make videos about? Now, I've asked a few questions earlier about, Shopify or print on demand, but if there's something burning that you're thinking, I really want to know that, Sophie, please put that in the comments below, because that's going to help me build out our plan. I have a plan, but it's my plan, and I'd much rather it was your plan. Please share in the comments below what you'd like me to make videos on next, because that's going to be much more exciting for me to make those videos than the ones that's on my planner. And of course, really importantly, don't forget to subscribe to my channel now if you haven't already, so that you don't miss out on this future content. So my dream is to post weekly, again, like I was before, but at the moment I'm giving myself an easy way back in, and I'm saying, well, fortnightly, let's get like the fortnightly thing down pat, and then I'll move to weekly. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll jump straight into weekly. We'll see how the schedule allows. And I'm really glad to be back, and I'm really grateful and happy that you are here. So thank you so much for hanging in there. Thank you so much for watching this video. And thank you for those of you who are commenting below and letting me know what you'd like to hear from me next. I'll see you on another video very, very soon. Bye-bye.